What is up, everybody? My name is Ryan with the Classy Gamers, and we also have Nathan again.
I have nothing good to say. I've said all the funny things. I'm out of funny things
We
to say now.
It's another one of those things where we literally just talked for 5 minutes before the podcast started and said all of the good jokes, and now here we are.
Welcome to the podcast. This is boring now.
Welcome to the podcast. But this episode we're gonna be talking about. We talked a lot about Zelda recently, but we're gonna talk about The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword and why it sucks. And Nathan's gonna disagree with me
I'll be debating you on that.
because he really likes it, and I think it was the worst Zelda. We're talking about some streaming features that YouTube's coming up with, and I'm really tired. So, like, disclaimer: if I trip over everything I'm saying and I make no sense, because it is 2 a.m. right now, and I have not gotten
2:30.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that precision. But I have gotten less than 8 hours of sleep in the past 72 hours, so it's been rough. It's been a rough 3 days. But without further ado, Nathan, I hate Skyward Sword.
Nice. You're wrong.
And that's the debate.
It's like, well, all right, moving on. Next talking point.
Now, let me tell you exactly why Skyward Sword sucks. So,
All right.
the Zelda franchise as a whole was built on basically exploration and adventure and finding new areas, new things, completing secrets, completing puzzles, and yada yada yada. And every single Zelda has had a substantial amount of replay value where honestly sometimes you'll beat a Zelda game like Ocarina or Majora's Mask and you're like, dang, I could do that again right now. There's not...
You can.
I can, yeah. But a lot of people have that thing where it doesn't take them very long to think I could go back and play Ocarina right now, or I could go back and play Majora's Mask, and it's not all. Ow! My knee! Ow!
Rip headphone users.
Did you hear me hit it?
My ears did. And speaking of rapey eardrums, like we were talking about before, that raped my eardrums.
I'm sorry, headphone users. What was I talking about?
I hope no one was trying to relax and go to sleep because it's not happening now.
What was I talking about? My knee hurts really bad now. I hit it on my desk.
Replayability.
Oh yeah. It's really easy for people to go back and play a Zelda game again. It's not just nostalgia because I played Twilight Princess for the first time when I was 16. And I don't have a whole lot of nostalgia value with that, and I still love playing it over and over. But with
Really?
but with Skyward Sword, I got done with the game, and I was like, I would not be losing anything in my life if I never played that game again.
You done?
No, that's just my first point. Would you like to rebut?
Okay.
Rebut?
I would.
Have a rebuttal?
I will reboot you.
Dun.
I've actually played through Skyward Sword 3 or 4 times, and I think some of the best things about the game are the storyline and the exploration. You get to go to 3 different lands, including the Thundercloud.
Keep going.
I will say that the Thundercloud was not that fun, but all the different lands, there's still it felt like there was a lot of exploration, and from what it seemed like, the map was decently size large. But I mean, if you're depending on how long you spend in the game, will determine how big it feels to you. And towards the end, obviously, you get to move faster. Or there's different things that help you move along through them faster. But I think each one had each part of the map had its own cool features about it.
You are wrong.
Okay.
Because
Do you care to explain?
Because I feel like you're wrong.
That's not how you argue.
And now my reason for feeling like you're wrong. So yes, you get to explore 3 areas, but you get to explore those 3 areas over and over. Well, twice, which feels like forever. Because adding water to the Faron Woods and flooding it does not make me happy to explore the area again. Basically, for anyone that doesn't know the game, one of the first areas is a woodlands area, and you explore it, you find some items, you get to the temple, and then you leave. Well, you revisit that exact same area with the exact same layout later, except for, it's flooded. And now you have to swim around. And honestly, the swimming mechanic is not that great in the first place in a Zelda game. And basically, like, you revisit the same areas, but, like, it's the exact same layout. And if you want to count the spirit trials, you do it a third time, too. And
I do admit, like, the spirit trials were, like, my least favorite part of the game.
they stressed me
were
out.
so stressful.
They stressed me
But
out.
they were a new feature that obviously was, I don't know, it was
cool.
You have to try things.
Yeah.
Now, I think the worst thing about Skyward Sword would have to be the motion controls.
Trying to freaking get a Skyward Strike while you're fighting Demise is a nightmare.
And it's weird because like the first time I remember playing through it, which, like you said, you played through Twilight Princess when you were 16. I think I was 16 or older when I played Skyward Sword, and it's the first game I actually completed. So I think that might be why I have the nostalgia value to it.
That might be it.
Like I didn't have a problem, and I didn't understand why everyone said that, because the first time playing through, I did not have a problem. But the second time, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a little bit worse than I remember.
I think the second time. Well, here's the thing. Like, did you play another Zelda game in between your first and second playthroughs?
I'd actually say probably not.
Okay. Well,
I would have played them before college.
Okay, that's fine. Well, my point will still stand, because you're wrong, and I feel like you're wrong, and I'm really sorry for my childish arguments, guys, but I'm really tired. But basically, like, everybody else that played Skyward Sword had been, like, growing up with Zelda and had played through all the games, and then they get to this new Zelda that takes what the old Zeldas had to offer and threw it out the window. And, like, if, like, in Twilight Princess, there's, like, I think, like, 9 separate areas to explore, and then a ton of space of, like, fields and, like, grasslands and, like, cliff sides in between each of those areas to explore.
Well, if you want to keep the same exact thing for every Zelda game you play, we might as well just call it Call of Duty.
Whoa. Hold on. But Call of Duty's you reskin the exact same game, basically.
Sounds like what you're asking for.
No. I want the same elements in the game. Like in like Wind Waker is completely different from Twilight Princess. Like it's based on, like, an ocean. There's islands. These islands have completely different kinds of puzzles and interactions to deal with, but you're still exploring and you're still adventuring, but it's a completely different area entirely. Like, right. So you could definitely do, like, something very innovative, like hashtag Breath of the Wild did, which just came out with a pre-existing thing, without, like, confining it. Because I would love to have played through Skyward Sword and explored those areas between those 3 areas and stuff like that. It just they felt so secluded and closed off. Oh, dude, I hit my knee on the desk. I'm bleeding. What the frick, man?
We need to take a timeout.
No, I'm just in pain.
Okay.
If you think my pain is funny, please leave a like. I am not pandering for likes.
Wow. Definitely not pandering for likes. Okay, yeah, I see that. I'm trying to think, because there are parts where, let's see. So the first time you go through Fair and Woods, do you have to go to the same exact place twice to fight a different boss? Because I believe essentially the dungeons. Because if you think Ocarina of Time, essentially you think what is it? The volcano, Death Mountain. So you go to Death Mountain twice, and you face 2 different dungeons, 2 different monsters. Same goes for the water, and every place you go to twice. So, like, to me, it seems a lot like that kind of system, where it's like you're going to the same place. It's not the same exact boss, and it's not in the same exact place, but it's going to be in the same overall place.
I understand what you're saying, but, like,
yep.
In Ocarina of Time, you don't get dropped in Death Mountain and then work your way up to the boss dungeon. Like you do, like in Skyward Sword, you get dropped in the general area, while in Ocarina you have to journey to the area. There's, like, places in between. There's shortcuts that attach them. There's, like, 2 other entirely massive different areas in different sections, like the desert and stuff like that. And, like, there's a huge Hyrule field in the middle.
But the whole point of Skyward Sword Skyloft is like it's an unknown. Like they don't know where they're going, and so there's these only specific portals that take you down to the lands where you're supposed to be. And then I mean you get to explore Skyloft. You get to explore. It's almost like broken puzzle pieces in a sense. Like if you separate the puzzle pieces that would make up like one puzzle, you kind of separate that, and then you have Skyward Sword. See, I think, and one of the reasons, and we can probably end the argument after this, so that way it doesn't take up too much time. But the only thing that I think, I love how innovative it was, to the point where you get to control the sword with your hand as if you're holding an actual sword. And as like frustrating as some of those controls may be, like, and I admit to that, it was a little bit janky, but the point is like, it is Nintendo, and Nintendo tries to innovate. Nintendo doesn't try to keep the same thing over and over and over again. They do take what they have and they try to innovate on that. And that's what happened like with consoles, and I think in that sense it almost felt like they were doing that with the game. And so you have like more power. Essentially you are, if the controls were perfect, it would almost be like you were sucked into the game, in my opinion, because you would have to control your sword exactly how you would if you were actually doing that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, and like I think that's why it gets some of the jankiness that you have.
We are very limited with what we can do with that game. Seriously. But yeah, okay.
I mean, you can bash it some more if you want. Like,
I think
that's fine.
I think it's dumb. To be fair,
Okay.
for anyone that's watching, it's really upset with me right now. If they loved Skyward Sword, I did enjoy the game. It's just like I don't think it stands and holds up to the other Zelda games as much. That is my.
I got you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
See, but I will say that it still has some of my favorite music, like Ocarina of Time. Like to me, it's on the level of Ocarina of Time with music, and Wind Waker.
Wind Waker's got the best music in my opinion. Best dungeons of all Zeldas. I'd say it's easy to say Ocarina of Time because they just had so many, and like the dungeons were pretty solid all around. And like again, like people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I genuinely enjoy the Water Temple. Kick me in the face, why don't you? But I'd say my favorite temple of all of them is Stone Tower Temple, and that one's got an awesome theme in Majora's Mask.
Okay, I don't know.
Boom,
Yeah,
boom,
that's where.
boom, boom.
That's right after the part where the game decided to crash on
That was really obnoxious. Wow. It's 2 a.m. No, it's almost 3 now. Ooh, Rick.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. Majora's Mask seemed like it was really stressful to me the entire like I still haven't beaten the game because I don't trust the game cartridge or my Nintendo 64 to get me through it. But like that game is so stressful to me.
oh yeah, it is. It is. It really is. And imagine doing it like I'm about to do a speed run next week. The week after this podcast comes out, I'm doing a speed run on a stream, and it's like insanely stressful because like on a normal pace in the game, you run out of time to do things, and like you have to do certain events at certain times and days, and then like on a speed run, you have to all sandwich it into 1 3-day cycle.
Oh wow.
It's
And
a nightmare.
Don't miss anything is the point with that.
Yeah, it's like I remember I was like practicing, and I was going through the Snowhead Temple, and then I realized I had to leave before the first day was over and go get the freaking aliens killed. What a pain. All
Well,
right.
good luck to you, man.
What was our next talking point? The new
Talking about-
YouTube streaming app. I know almost
Yeah.
nothing about it, so you lead the conversation here.
So you found it's a specific app for it?
Is there an app, or is it like it's like a go live thing?
From what I understand, it's basically through your normal like phone's YouTube app, and right now like the bigger YouTubers have it like in beta, and they're starting to roll it out to the smaller and smaller YouTubers, kind of like they did with the end card screens from switching to annotations to that. So obviously it's a top tier down. So they want like your PewDiePies, your Markipliers, they want them to test it out to see like what's actually happening. Because I've seen PewDiePie live stream now, and I don't know how I feel about that. So, and the reason I put I mentioned this as a talking point is I like the idea of it, because I love live streaming. Like I'm a live streamer, so Twitch is all about speed. Like they don't really. I can't see Twitch doing this, so I don't know if it's a good move for YouTube. I think a better move for YouTube would be to stream more like Beam, where it's like the lag is so much more delayed, because then smaller YouTubers get that interaction and they're on the right platform. Whereas I feel like once you open up mobile live streaming, then any Chuck with a phone can go on and flood the market with crappy Clash of Clans live streams.
Yeah, totally. And to anyone that's like it's not 100% familiar with the live streaming capabilities of Twitch, YouTube, and Beam, basically YouTube and Twitch have a delay between their actual stream and what comes to their audience. And with Twitch, it's pretty short. It's around like 5 to 10 seconds or something like that, depending on what the streaming service you're using is. But for YouTube, it can be like 20 seconds or longer.
It could be 30 seconds. I think the minimum is about 10 seconds.
Yeah, like it's very hard to interact with the audience in the chat, because someone might say something, you make a decision, and then like their decision pops up like after you've already come to terms with your decision and are moving on. And like it's very hard, but on Beam it's almost instantaneous with the chat and what's going on there, because like you have real audience interaction there, and you don't have to like wait for answers if you're asking a question. And we're basically saying like Twitch has a delay for like competitive gameplay, and that's wise. But like YouTube has no reason other than I guess server speeds to have a delay, and they should take it out.
Yeah. I mean, for YouTube, I can't see any reason. Like, no one competitively streams that I know of, as far as I know, on YouTube. Like every competitive streamer, you could do you can do speed runs on YouTube. You can do that on Twitch too, but you're not going to competitively stream on YouTube. It's just not what it's known for. So, I mean, they're getting a free. In YouTube's defense, they're getting a free share of the market, because nobody live streams from their phone. Like, you can't do it anywhere else. So if there is an audience for it, I guess
you can technically you can do it on Instagram and Facebook.
Oh, you can. Oh, yeah. You're right.
But let's be honest, nobody as someone who has tried to live stream on Instagram as a joke before, it's a mess.
Is it really?
Yeah.
See, and I don't know if they're doing it more to, like, say you want to stream a game from your phone, or you just want to like basically take a live, like if it's a live video. And speaking of Facebook, to anybody that live streams on Facebook, your friends might not want to see that, just so you know. Whenever I see it pop up, it kind of annoys me.
As someone who never gets on Facebook,
just a disclaimer there.
I don't care, but don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just don't.
I don't know. To me, it seems awkward to do it, like to live stream or speak in front of a bunch of people, like on a creative platform as YouTube. It's like, okay, I'll let people that don't know me see it, but then when you want to stream in front of all your friends on YouTube, I don't know if I can get on that train.
Yeah, it's kind of like the feeding the Facebook, Instagram machine of like just seeking validation. And it's like, look, I'm doing something interesting, and instead of enjoying it, I want you to enjoy it with me. And tell me that I'm cool and having an interesting life. And I'm sorry I'm really not trying to call anybody out right now, because personally, I have done something like that before on social media, and I'm not cool with it. But like, we all have. But stop it. Stop it.
Like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. I think YouTube could, if YouTube wanted to, it could take over like the very fast streaming market. Oh, totally. Because it has such a large market. Definitely. And it could put Beam out of business. Any other streaming platform that tries to do that, they could put them right out of business. So I don't know, maybe with the large amount of streamers that they have, that maybe their servers can't support it. I know sometimes, like in the past few weeks, I've seen it where they just have trouble enough supporting, the people that they do have. So I don't know, and I don't know what all goes in on the back end. So I guess I can't blame them there. But
gosh, dang it! Sorry. I'm dying over here.
Yes, you are.
I want to go to bed, Nathan.
I think you're considered like legally drunk. Well, maybe not legally drunk, but medically drunk.
Oh yeah, when you don't get enough sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not enough sleep in a certain amount of time.
Hey, I'm gonna go. Drunk. I'm gonna go drive my car.
Well, let me go get a couple drinks in me, and I'll ride with you.
Oh, it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great. I'll drive all the way to Michigan. It'll
It's
be
a long
great.
drive.
Not well. I mean, see, I'm medically drunk, so I won't be thinking about it. I'll be thinking about John Mayer. That's the CD in my car right now, and I'll be focusing real hard on like staying awake and alive. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know it, I'm pulling up in your
Like
driveway.
Skillet.
Yep, like Skillet. Next thing you know it, I'll be pulling up in your driveway, be like, "Hey Nathan," and then you're gonna get really nervous and grab the gun and be like, "I didn't know you were actually coming. This makes me feel uncomfortable. How did you get my address?" And then I'll be like, "I just know these things." And then I'll approach you slowly with a big hug, and then you point the shotgun barrel on my chest and press it just between my nipples, and you realize, hey, that guy's got a dent in his chest. And then you discover that there's a dent in my chest that's a perfect shape for a shotgun, which is absolutely true.
Wait, can we pause for a second?
Yeah, what's up?
How big of a barrel would I have to to properly place a barrel right between your nipples? Unless you have awkwardly close nipples. Something is wrong there.
Technically, if you put the barrel anywhere in my chest in between them, you are technically still in between them, no matter how large the barrel is.
Okay. For anybody out there that's watching, let's think about this. Did anyone else think that I need an extremely large gun to put on Ryan's chest, or did you guys get what he said? I just gotta know.
I'm not gonna lie. I like just totally measured the distance between my nipples, and
Yeah?
I think that I'm a normal human being. I'm not an expert, but I think I'm a normal human being.
Is it like tip of your middle finger to like mid forearm? 'Cause that's what I got. That's what I got going on here.
Hold on.
That's a good
Hold
measurement
on, I'm
system
checking.
everyone has.
I don't know if you just heard me take my shirt off, but okay, tip of my middle
Take your
finger.
shirt- You don't need to take your shirt off. You can leave your shirt on.
I'm tired.
Do you not know that you have nipples under your shirt? Oh my god. I think he might be actually dying.
I have osteoporosis. I have hypoglycemia.
I'm gonna come drive down to Georgia and administer a shot to you right in the butt. What you deserve right now. Put you right to sleep.
What kind of shot? Oh, a sleepy shot.
Not that you need it, but at some point you're gonna like develop insomnia from your body just starting to develop like being used to.
It's like,
not
well, I'm
sleeping.
still awake. Better be awake. Oh wow, we just went off on a really long tangent.
Yeah. So
It's
I think
okay.
some people like that, and some people really hate that. From what I know from
Yeah.
other podcasters,
Yeah, I'm sure.
I
Like,
find it quite enjoyable.
I'm sure that this podcast was like pretty boring for the most part.
Yeah, well, I mean, Skyward Sword, yeah, mobile live streaming. Some people are like, I could care less. But shotgun between the nipples and measure. You never gave me your measurement. What is your measurement?
It's the okay. Let me puff up my chest as wide as possible. It's the tip. It's the tip of my middle finger to about midway through the forearm.
Okay, that's what I said. So we're about even. And your arms are longer, and your chest should probably be a little wider too, because you're taller.
Because I'm freaking muscular and yeah. And on that note, I think this is a great time for us to wrap up. So,
Go to bed, man.
Nathan, thanks for joining us again this week.
I love to. I always appreciate it. I don't really. I got to read more of the comments myself. I got to catch up on those.
Dude,
But this is always really fun for me,
even at 2 a.m.?
even at 2:54 a.m.
Oh. Well, anyway, thank you guys
You
so
have
much.
class in the morning?
I do have class in the morning.
Oh, I feel bad for you. I'm taking tomorrow off.
I'm going to have 11 hours of sleep in the past 72 hours. So anyway,
Oh.
without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching GamesTalk at 2 a.m. again.
This is Ryan Carey. I've been Nautical Nathan. I hope you guys have a great night. We love you. Peace out.
Y'all stay classy, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.